Every person who builds an extraordinary life starts with one decision that nobody else can see. It is not a decision about money. It is not a decision about status. It is a decision about identity. Long before the rewards arrive, long before people notice the effort, long before success becomes visible, there is a private moment when a person decides, I will no longer live below my own standards. That decision changes everything because your life always follows the direction of your thinking. Many people spend years waiting for confidence to appear. They believe confidence comes after success. They believe respect comes after achievement. They believe they must collect enough proof before they can stand tall. That way of thinking keeps people trapped. If you only believe in yourself after the results appear, you will spend most of your life waiting. Your mind must move first. Your actions follow. The results come later. A person who carries themselves with purpose does not need to announce it. It shows in the way they begin the morning. It shows in the promises they keep. It shows in the calm way they handle problems. Real confidence is quiet because it is built on preparation, not on attention. The strongest people are usually not the loudest people. They simply know where they are going, and they refuse to allow temporary problems to decide their future. Every morning gives you another opportunity to decide who you are becoming. Before anyone speaks to you, before work begins, before the demands of the day arrive, your mind is already making choices. It is deciding whether this will be another ordinary day or another meaningful day. Success is not created in one dramatic moment. It is created by many ordinary mornings where a person chooses discipline instead of delay. Too many people underestimate the power of their private thoughts. They speak to themselves with doubt. They repeat yesterday's failures. They remember every mistake but forget every lesson. If you continue speaking to yourself as if you are defeated, your actions will eventually agree with those words. The mind accepts what it hears repeatedly. Guard your thoughts because they become your decisions, and your decisions become your future. There will always be people who judge you before they understand you. That is part of life. If your confidence depends on their approval, your confidence will disappear every time someone disagrees with you. Build your life on stronger ground than public opinion. Build it on personal discipline. Build it on honesty. Build it on responsibility. Those qualities remain valuable whether anyone notices or not. Your future does not begin on the day everything becomes easy. It begins on the day you stop making excuses. Excuses sound comfortable in the moment, but they quietly steal years from a person's life. Every excuse delays progress. Every excuse makes tomorrow carry a heavier load. Personal responsibility may feel difficult at first, but it gives you something excuses never can. It gives you control. The person you become matters far more than the things you own. A person with strong character can lose everything and build again because the greatest resource is still inside them. A person without character may receive every opportunity and still lose it because they have never learned how to manage themselves. That is why personal growth should always come before the pursuit of possessions. The better you become, the better your life becomes. Carry yourself with dignity even when your bank account is small. Carry yourself with respect even when nobody applauds your effort. Carry yourself with confidence even while you are still learning. There is nothing dishonest about believing in your future while you are still working toward it. Growth takes time. Every meaningful achievement requires patience. Do not confuse slow progress with failure. There are moments when life becomes unfair, plans fall apart, people disappoint you, opportunities disappear without warning. During those seasons, your mindset becomes your greatest strength. Anyone can stay positive when everything goes according to plan. Real maturity appears when life becomes uncomfortable and you continue moving forward anyway. That is when your true character begins to grow. Do not spend your energy comparing your journey with someone else's journey. Comparison steals peace. It steals focus. It steals gratitude. There will always be someone ahead of you and someone behind you. Neither person should decide how you feel about your own progress. Measure yourself against the person you were yesterday. If today's choices are better than yesterday's choices, you are moving in the right direction. Respect begins inside your own mind. If you constantly break promises to yourself, your confidence slowly weakens. Every time you say you will wake up early but choose another hour of sleep, your mind remembers it. Every time you promise to improve but choose comfort instead, your mind remembers that too. On the other hand, every promise you keep strengthens your belief in yourself. Confidence grows through action, not wishful thinking. There is great value in finishing what you start. Many people enjoy the excitement of new goals, but they lose interest when the work becomes repetitive. Yet the ordinary days are the days that shape extraordinary lives. The daily routine may not be exciting, but it is powerful. Reading a few pages every day is powerful. Saving a little money every week is powerful. Practicing a skill every day is powerful. Small actions, repeated over time, create results that surprise people who only believe in shortcuts. Your appearance also sends a message to your own mind. Take care of yourself. Dress with self-respect. Stand with good posture. Speak clearly. These are not acts of pride. They are reminders that your life has value. The way you present yourself influences the way you think about yourself. When you treat yourself with care, your standards begin to rise. Protect your time because your life is made from it. Hours disappear whether you use them wisely or not. Entertainment has its place, but endless distraction quietly steals opportunity. Pay attention to where your days are going. A wasted afternoon may not seem important, but repeated enough times, it becomes a wasted year. Successful people understand that every day carries value. Never believe that your current situation is your permanent identity. Financial problems are temporary. Lack of experience is temporary. Fear is temporary. Difficult seasons are temporary. Character is permanent. If you continue building it, the strongest foundation you can create is becoming a person who refuses to quit simply because life becomes difficult. Kindness should remain part of your strength. Treat people with respect regardless of their position. Listen carefully. Keep your word. Show appreciation. Character is revealed by the way you treat people who cannot improve your career or your reputation. True success includes the ability to remain humble while continuing to grow. Every improvement begins with one simple decision repeated again tomorrow. One better habit. One wiser choice. One more hour spent learning instead of complaining. Those decisions may appear small, but life is built from small decisions. Most people search for dramatic change while ignoring daily improvement. Daily improvement is where lasting success is created. Never allow temporary failure to become a permanent conclusion about yourself. Every successful person has experienced disappointment. Every successful person has made mistakes. The difference is that they treated those moments as lessons instead of life sentences. Failure is information. It shows what needs to improve. Learn from it, adjust your approach, and continue moving forward with greater wisdom. Your future is quietly being built today, not tomorrow, not next month. Today, the conversations you have, the books you read, the habits you repeat, the standards you accept, and the promises you keep are all shaping the person you will become. One day, people may notice your success and believe it appeared suddenly. They will not see the quiet mornings, the difficult choices, the moments of self-control, and the years of steady improvement that made those results possible. Carry yourself with the confidence of someone who knows that personal growth always comes before public recognition. Continue learning when nobody is watching. Continue improving when nobody is applauding. Continue believing when the evidence is still being built. A meaningful life is never created by accident. It is created through daily decisions made with purpose, discipline, patience, and self-respect. When your mind accepts that truth, your actions begin to reflect it, and before long, your life begins to reflect it as well. There comes a point in life when you realize that recognition is not the beginning of greatness. Recognition is simply the moment when other people finally notice what has been growing inside you for years. Character, avis et siftingtien meiden sifting. Character always comes first. The world may celebrate results, but results are built on choices that almost nobody sees. If you want to become someone who earns lasting respect, stop focusing on being noticed and start focusing on becoming stronger on the inside. Many people spend too much time trying to look successful. They work hard to create an image that impresses others, yet they ignore the habits that would actually change their lives. Looking successful and becoming successful are two completely different things. One lasts for a moment, the other lasts for years. Real growth begins when your private life becomes more important than your public image. Character is built in the ordinary moments. It is built when nobody is watching your actions. It is built when there is no reward waiting at the end of the day. It is built when doing the right thing feels difficult, inconvenient, or slow. Anyone can make good decisions when the outcome is easy to see. Strong character appears when you continue making wise decisions even when the results are still far away. There will always be moments when cutting corners seems easier. There will always be opportunities to take the quick path. There will always be reasons to lower your standards just once. Be careful during those moments because your standards are not lowered only for one day. Every compromise, it teaches you either that your values matter or that they can be ignored whenever life becomes uncomfortable. A person with strong character understands that every choice carries weight. A small decision today may become a major direction tomorrow. That is why daily discipline matters so much. The little habits you repeat shape the person you become. Reading instead of wasting another hour, saving money instead of spending carelessly, speaking honestly instead of saying whatever is convenient, arriving on time instead of making excuses. These actions may appear small, but together they create a life built on trust and consistency. Trust is one of the greatest rewards a person can earn. It cannot be purchased, it cannot be borrowed, it cannot be demanded. It must be earned through repeated actions over time. People begin to trust someone whose words match their actions. They trust someone who remains dependable even when circumstances become difficult. They trust someone who stays honest when dishonesty would be easier. Your reputation is simply the reflection of your character repeated over time. Every conversation, every promise, every responsibility either strengthens that reputation or weakens it. That is why keeping your word matters so much. If you promise to complete something, complete it. If you commit to improving yourself, follow through. The habit of keeping promises builds a quiet confidence that no one can take away. Some people believe that talent alone determines success. Talent is valuable, but character decides how far talent can go. A talented person without discipline often wastes opportunities. An average person with discipline continues improving year after year until they become exceptional. Consistency will often outperform natural ability because consistency never depends on mood. Life has a way of testing what you truly believe. It is easy to speak about patience when everything is going well. It is easy to speak about honesty when nothing is at risk. The real test comes when pressure enters your life. Pressure reveals whether your values are deeply rooted or only spoken when life is comfortable. There will be days when disappointment visits your life without warning. A promotion goes to someone else. A business plan fails. A relationship ends. A goal takes much longer than expected. During those moments, your response becomes more important than the event itself. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you always have influence over the way you respond. That response becomes part of your character. One of the greatest habits you can develop is emotional control. Strong people are not people who never feel frustration. Strong people simply refuse to let frustration make their decisions. They pause before reacting. They think before speaking. They refuse to allow temporary emotions to create permanent damage. Words have power. The words you speak to others matter, but the words you repeat to yourself matter even more. If you constantly tell yourself that you are unlucky, incapable, or behind everyone else, your actions slowly begin to match those beliefs. Replace those thoughts with responsibility. Tell yourself that you are still learning. Tell yourself that every day gives another opportunity to improve. Tell yourself that growth is possible because effort is always within your control. Character also means accepting responsibility without blaming everyone else. Blame feels comfortable because it removes responsibility. Growth begins when blame ends. The moment you accept ownership of your choices, your future becomes brighter because you now have the power to improve it. Waiting for someone else to change your life usually leads to disappointment. Improving yourself always creates new possibilities. Do not become discouraged because progress seems slow. Strong foundations are rarely built quickly. Think about every meaningful skill you admire. Reading well required practice. Speaking confidently required practice. Managing money required practice. Building healthy relationships required practice. Every worthwhile ability grows through repetition. Give yourself permission to improve gradually instead of expecting instant perfection. Patience is often misunderstood. Patience does not mean doing nothing while waiting. Patience means continuing to work faithfully while understanding that meaningful results require time. Continue learning even when nobody notices. Continue preparing even when opportunities have not yet appeared. Continue improving because preparation always creates confidence. Protect your integrity carefully. Once lost, it takes a long time to rebuild. People remember honesty. They also remember dishonesty. Make decisions that allow you to sleep peacefully at night. Money earned through dishonesty never brings lasting satisfaction. Success without integrity always carries hidden costs. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth instead of excuses. The voices around you influence the thoughts inside you. Spend time with people who value responsibility, kindness, learning, and discipline. Good company quietly raises your standards. Negative company quietly lowers them. Choose your environment wisely because your environment shapes many of your habits. Never stop learning. Some people finish school and believe education has ended. Real education begins when personal responsibility begins. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen carefully to people with experience. Stay curious. The moment you believe you already know enough, your progress begins to slow down. Humility remains one of the strongest qualities a person can possess. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is remaining teachable no matter how much success you achieve. A humble person continues asking questions. A humble person accepts correction. A humble person understands that every individual has something valuable to teach. There is quiet strength in showing up every day with the same commitment. Motivation rises and falls. Discipline continues working even when motivation feels distant. Build routines that support your goals instead of waiting for perfect feelings. Feelings change, habits remain. Many people admire successful lives without admiring successful routines. They want the reward but avoid the process. Yet the process is where character is formed. Every early morning, every difficult decision, every completed responsibility, every promise kept. These moments shape the person capable of handling greater opportunities. As the years pass, people may remember your achievements, but those closest to you will remember your character. They will remember whether you treated people with respect. They will remember whether your words matched your actions. They will remember whether you remained dependable during difficult times. That is a legacy worth building. The strongest person in the room is often not the loudest or the richest. It is usually the one whose character remains steady regardless of changing circumstances. Build that kind of life. Build values that remain strong whether life feels easy or difficult. Build habits that support your future instead of satisfying temporary comfort. Build a reputation that grows from honesty, responsibility, patience, and discipline. When recognition finally arrives, it should simply confirm the person you have already become. Never allow applause to create your identity. Build your identity long before the applause appears. Then success becomes more than something you achieve. It becomes the natural result of the character you have patiently developed, one decision at a time. The way you respect yourself quietly shapes every part of your life. Before anyone decides how they will treat you, there is already one voice that has been speaking to you all day long. That voice is your own. If it constantly tells you that you are not good enough, not capable enough, or not worthy of better opportunities, those thoughts slowly become your actions. They influence your choices without you even noticing. A person who does not value themselves often accepts less than they deserve because they have convinced themselves that nothing better is possible. That belief becomes a limit long before the world places one in front of them. The first relationship you improve should always be the one you have with yourself. That does not mean becoming selfish or believing you are more important than anyone else. It means recognizing that your future depends on the standards you choose every single day. If you cannot trust yourself to keep a simple promise, how will you trust yourself with greater responsibility? Every promise you keep builds confidence. Every promise you break weakens it. Confidence is not created by talking about success. Confidence grows each time your actions agree with your words. There are people who spend years searching for motivation while ignoring discipline. They wait for the perfect feeling before taking action. Some mornings they feel excited, and other mornings they feel tired. If your progress depends on your feelings, your progress will always be uncertain. Respecting yourself means doing what needs to be done, even when comfort is asking you to stop. It means understanding that your future deserves more than temporary convenience. Think about the small decisions that fill an ordinary day. Waking up when the alarm rings, preparing for work instead of rushing through the morning, finishing a task before moving to another one, choosing food that gives your body energy instead of only satisfying a craving, reading a few pages instead of spending another hour scrolling through distractions. These choices may not seem important on their own, but together they become the story of your life. The quality of your life is often determined by the quality of your ordinary habits. Fairy hats. Many people believe self-respect appears after success. The truth is very different. Self-respect creates the actions that make success possible. A person who respects themselves protects their time because they understand that wasted hours never return. They protect their health because they know a tired body makes every dream more difficult to achieve. They protect their mind because they understand that negative thinking quietly steals confidence. They protect their values because they know that once integrity is sacrificed, rebuilding trust becomes much harder. There will always be voices trying to tell you who you are. Some will underestimate you. Some will judge you by your past. Some will decide your future based on your current situation. None of those voices should become more powerful than your own commitment to personal growth. Never allow another person's limited opinion to become your permanent belief about yourself. People often see where you are today. They cannot always see who you are working to become. Respecting yourself also means refusing to compare your life with everyone around you. Comparison has a way of making progress feel invisible. You could be improving every month, yet one glance at someone else's achievements may convince you that you are falling behind. That is an unfair way to measure your life. Every person carries different responsibilities, different experiences, different opportunities, and different struggles. Your responsibility is not to become someone else. Your responsibility is to become the strongest version of yourself. Your attitude toward mistakes says a great deal about your level of self-respect. Some people make one mistake and spend years criticizing themselves. They replay the failure repeatedly until it becomes part of their identity. That habit destroys confidence. A wiser approach is to accept the mistake, learn from it, and continue growing. A mistake is an event. It should never become your identity. Every successful person has experienced disappointment. The difference is that they refuse to stay there. There is something powerful about keeping your personal space organized. It may seem like a small detail, but it reflects the way you think about your life. When your surroundings are cared for, your mind often becomes calmer. When your schedule has structure, your energy becomes more focused. Order creates room for clear thinking. Chaos quietly steals attention. Respect yourself enough to create an environment that supports your goals instead of working against them. Your appearance matters not because you need to impress strangers, but because it affects the way you carry yourself. Standing tall, speaking clearly, taking care of your health, and presenting yourself with care all send an important message to your own mind. They remind you that your life has value. They reinforce the belief that you are preparing for opportunities instead of waiting for them. Do not spend your life trying to please everyone. That goal is impossible. No matter how kind you are, someone will misunderstand you. No matter how hard you work, someone will criticize you. If your peace depends on universal approval, you will never experience lasting confidence. Respect yourself enough to accept that disagreement is part of life. Continue treating people with kindness, but never abandon your values simply to gain acceptance. There are moments when saying no becomes an act of wisdom. Every invitation does not deserve your time. Every opportunity is not the right opportunity. Every conversation is not worth your energy. People with healthy self-respect understand the value of healthy boundaries. They know that protecting their time allows them to give their best effort where it truly matters. Never underestimate the importance of learning. Education should not end when school ends. Every book you read, every meaningful conversation you have, every useful skill you develop increases your value. The world changes quickly. People who continue learning remain prepared for new opportunities. Respect yourself enough to invest in your own growth instead of assuming you already know everything you need. Money is important, but it should never become the measure of your worth. A person's value is not determined by a paycheck. It is reflected through honesty, discipline, kindness, responsibility, and the willingness to improve. Wealth may come and go, but strong values remain. Build those values first. Everything else has a stronger foundation when your character is solid. There will be seasons when progress feels slow. During those moments, continue showing up. Continue doing the work. Continue improving your habits. Growth often happens quietly before it becomes visible. Seeds spend time growing beneath the surface before anyone sees them. Your effort may not receive immediate recognition, but that does not mean it lacks value. Every day of honest work is preparing you for tomorrow. Forgive yourself for the days when you fell short, but do not use forgiveness as permission to remain the same. Learn the lesson. Make the adjustment. Begin again. One difficult day should never convince you to abandon a meaningful goal. The future is shaped by what you choose next, not by what happened yesterday. Speak to yourself with honesty and encouragement. Hold yourself accountable without becoming your own enemy. There is enough negativity in the world already. Your own mind should become a place where determination grows, where hope remains alive, and where responsibility leads to action. Strong people are not free from doubt. They simply refuse to let doubt make their decisions. Every time you choose growth over comfort, your respect for yourself becomes stronger. Every time you complete a responsibility instead of avoiding it, your confidence grows a little more. Every time you stay true to your values while others take easier paths, your character becomes stronger. These moments may never appear on a stage or receive public praise, but they are building something far more important. They are building the person you will become. One day, people may admire your confidence without realizing how it was created. They may think it appeared naturally. They will not see the mornings when you chose discipline instead of excuses. They will not see the evenings when you kept working while others gave up. They will not see the quiet decisions that slowly changed your thinking. Those moments matter because they shape your identity long before they shape your results. Walk through life with quiet confidence, not because everything is perfect, but because you know you are becoming stronger each day. Treat yourself with the same respect you hope to receive from others. Raise your standards, keep your promises. Continue learning, protect your peace. Build habits that reflect the future you want to create. When you respect yourself first, your actions begin to change. When your actions change, your future begins to change. That is where lasting confidence is born, and that is where a meaningful life truly begins. Leadership begins long before anyone gives you a title. It begins long before your name appears on a door, on a business card, or in front of a team. Real leadership starts the moment you accept full responsibility for your own life. That is the day everything begins to change. Many people believe they must wait until someone chooses them before they can make a difference. They spend years hoping another person will recognize their potential. They wait for permission to grow, permission to speak, permission to improve, or permission to lead. That waiting becomes a habit, and habits have a way of shaping an entire life. Do not wait for someone else to tell you that you are capable. Build your life in such a way that your daily actions become the proof. Every skill you learn, every responsibility you accept, every challenge you face with courage is preparing you for opportunities that may not even exist today. The people who make the greatest impact are usually the ones who prepared before anyone noticed them. When the opportunity, they were already ready because they had spent years developing themselves instead of waiting for recognition. A person who leads without permission understands something very important. Influence is earned through example, not through authority. People pay attention to actions long before they listen to words. If your habits show discipline, people notice. If your attitude remains steady during difficult times, people notice. If you treat others with respect, people notice. You may never hear them talk about it, but your example quietly shapes the people around you. Think about your own daily life. Every day you influence someone. It may be a family member, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger. The way you speak, the way you respond to problems, the way you manage pressure, and the way you treat people all leave an impression. Many people underestimate this because they imagine leadership only belongs to people with large audiences. The truth is much simpler. Every person leads somewhere. The question is not whether you have influence. The question is what kind of influence you are creating. Responsibility is the foundation of leadership. If something goes wrong, accept your part instead of immediately looking for someone else to blame. Blame may protect your pride for a moment, but responsibility builds your future. The moment you accept ownership of your choices, you gain the power to improve them. That is one of the greatest freedoms a person can experience. You stop waiting for the world to change because you have decided to change yourself first. There will always be people who complain about circumstances without ever changing their habits. They speak about the economy, the weather, their coworkers, their past, or their luck. Meanwhile, the years continue to pass. Complaints may create temporary relief, but they never create lasting progress. Progress begins when your energy moves away from excuses and towards solutions. Every problem asks one important question: what can you do next? Focus your attention there because that is where growth begins. Leading without permission also means continuing to improve even when nobody is watching. It is easy to work hard when praise is guaranteed. It is much harder to stay committed when your effort goes unnoticed. Those quiet seasons matter because they reveal your true reasons for growing. Are you improving only for applause, or are you improving because excellence has become your standard? The answer to that question shapes your future. There is strength in becoming dependable. Imagine being the person others can trust. When you say you will arrive, you arrive. When you promise to finish a task, you finish it. When challenges appear, you remain calm instead of creating more confusion. Dependability is becoming rare because many people allow emotions to control their commitments. Build a reputation that remains steady regardless of changing circumstances. Leadership also requires the willingness to continue learning. Some people stop growing the moment they experience a little success. They believe they have already reached the top of their ability. That way of thinking quietly limits their future. Stay curious, read books, listen carefully, learn from people with different experiences. Ask thoughtful questions. Every lesson you gain increases your ability to serve others more effectively. Serving others is one of the strongest qualities of a true leader. And some people believe leadership is about being the most important person in the room. Real leadership is about helping other people become stronger. Encourage someone who is struggling. Share knowledge without expecting something in return. Celebrate another person's progress without feeling threatened by it. Strong leaders understand that helping others grow never reduces their own value. There will be moments when you stand alone because you choose to do what is right instead of what is popular. Those moments test your character. Following the crowd often feels easier because it removes responsibility. Standing by your values requires courage. Stay honest even when dishonesty seems profitable. Stay kind even when others choose disrespect. Stay disciplined even when people around you choose comfort. Character grows stronger every time you choose principles over popularity. Your attitude becomes especially important during difficult seasons. Anyone can remain positive when life is comfortable. Leadership becomes visible when uncertainty enters the room. During challenging moments, people naturally look for someone who remains calm. They look for someone who believes solutions are still possible. Become that person. Your confidence does not need to be loud. It simply needs to remain steady. Do not underestimate the power of consistency. Extraordinary lives are rarely built through extraordinary days alone. They are built through ordinary days handled with extraordinary commitment. Continue showing up, continue improving, continue honoring your responsibilities. Small actions repeated for years create results that appear remarkable to people who only notice the final outcome. Protect your words carefully. Words can encourage people to continue moving forward, or they can discourage them from trying again. Speak with honesty, but also with kindness. Correct people without humiliating them. Share truth without destroying hope. A wise leader understands that people remember how they felt after a conversation long after they forget the exact words that were spoken. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they need perfect conditions before taking action. Perfect conditions rarely arrive. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be risks. There will always be something you do not know. Begin anyway. Progress belongs to people who move forward while continuing to learn. Waiting for complete certainty often becomes another form of procrastination. Your example reaches farther than you realize. Children watch how adults respond to pressure. Friends observe how you handle disappointment. Coworkers notice whether you solve problems or create them. Family members notice whether your actions match your words. Every day your life teaches something. Make sure it teaches responsibility, patience, honesty, and perseverance. Success should never make you difficult to approach. Stay humble as your knowledge increases. Stay grateful as opportunities grow. Remember the people who encouraged you during difficult seasons. Treat every person with respect, regardless of their position. Humility protects your character, while success expands your influence. Do not fear making mistakes while trying to lead. Every experienced leader was once inexperienced. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every successful business owner once faced uncertainty. Growth requires movement. Mistakes become valuable teachers when you are willing to learn instead of quit. Every morning presents another opportunity to become the example you hope others will follow. Keep your promises. Improve your habits. Protect your integrity. Encourage the people around you. Continue learning. Continue serving. Continue growing. These actions require no title, no permission, and no public recognition. They simply require a decision. One day, people may describe you as a leader. They may admire your confidence, your wisdom, and your ability to remain steady during difficult times. They will see the results, but they will never fully see the years of quiet discipline that produced them. Those years matter more than the applause because they shape the person capable of carrying greater responsibility. Lead yourself well every single day, and your influence will naturally grow. Long before the world recognizes your leadership, your daily choices will already be proving it. Every meaningful life is built one day at a time. People often imagine success as one unforgettable moment. They picture the celebration, the achievement, or the recognition. What they rarely picture are the ordinary days that came before it. They do not see the early mornings when nobody was watching. They do not see the evenings filled with quiet work. They do not see the difficult choices made over and over again. Yet those moments are where a successful life is truly created. The rewards may arrive on one day, but the person who receives them is shaped over many years. Many people spend too much time searching for a breakthrough while ignoring the value of daily progress. They believe one big opportunity will suddenly change everything. Opportunities matter, but they are only useful when the person is prepared. Preparation is not exciting, it often feels slow. It asks you to repeat the same positive habits even when there is no applause waiting at the end of the day. That is where most people give up. They mistake quiet progress for failure simply because it does not produce instant results. Your future is being built today, whether you realize it or not. Every choice you make becomes part of the person you are becoming. The books you read, the conversations you have, the food you eat, the way you spend your free time, and the habits you repeat are quietly shaping tomorrow. Nothing is wasted. Good habits strengthen your future. Poor habits slowly weaken it. That is why every ordinary day carries extraordinary value. Never underestimate the power of one good decision. One decision to wake up earlier can create more time for learning. One decision to save a little money each week can build financial stability over time. One decision to exercise consistently can improve your health for years. One decision to speak kindly can strengthen a relationship. These actions may seem small, but life is built from small actions repeated with consistency. There will be mornings when you feel energized and ready to work. There will also be mornings when your mind tells you to stay where you are because improvement feels difficult. Those moments reveal your commitment. Anyone can move forward when everything feels easy. Real discipline appears when comfort invites you to stop, yet you continue anyway. That quiet decision becomes another brick in the foundation of your future. Do not become discouraged because someone else appears to be moving faster than you. Every person travels a different path. Some people experience success early, others develop more slowly. Neither journey is better. What matters is that you continue growing. A tree does not compare its growth with another tree. It simply continues growing according to its own season. Your responsibility is not to match another person's pace. Your responsibility is to become better than you were yesterday. Patience is one of the greatest qualities you can develop. Many dreams disappear because people expect immediate rewards from long-term work. They become frustrated after a few weeks and decide that nothing is changing. They fail to realize that lasting success often grows quietly before anyone can see it. Continue planting good habits even when the results remain invisible. Invisible progress is still progress. Your standards determine your future more than your wishes do. Everyone wishes for a better life. Everyone hopes for success, peace, and opportunity. Wishes alone change nothing. Standards change everything. When you raise your standards, your daily decisions begin to improve. You become more careful with your time. You become more thoughtful with your money. You become more selective about the people you spend time with. You become more committed to learning. A higher standard quietly changes every area of life. One of the greatest dangers in life is becoming comfortable with average effort. Average effort produces average results. If you continue doing only what feels easy, your life will remain limited by comfort. Growth always asks something from you. It asks for patience when you want quick results. It asks for discipline when you want convenience. It asks for courage when fear is speaking loudly. Every worthwhile achievement requires you to become stronger than you were before. Protect your mornings because they often shape the rest of your day. Begin with purpose instead of distraction. Spend time reading something that strengthens your thinking. Spend a few moments reflecting on your goals. Prepare your mind before the world begins asking for your attention. A peaceful beginning creates a stronger finish. Guard your attention carefully. Modern life offers endless distractions. Hours disappear without creating anything meaningful. Entertainment has its place, but it should never become the center of your life. Ask yourself regularly whether your daily habits are moving you closer to your goals or pulling you farther away. Honest questions lead to honest change. Never stop investing in yourself. Skills increase your value. Knowledge increases your confidence. Experience increases your wisdom. Every page you read, every lesson you learn, every challenge you overcome becomes part of your personal growth. No one can take that away from you. Money can disappear, positions can change, circumstances can shift. The person you become remains your greatest asset. Be careful not to measure success only by visible achievements. Some of the greatest victories happen inside a person long before the outside world notices anything. Choosing patience instead of anger is a victory. Keeping your word when breaking it would be easier is a victory. Remaining honest under pressure is a victory. Continuing after disappointment is a victory. These moments build a life of lasting value. Gratitude also deserves a place in your daily routine. A grateful person sees opportunities where others only see problems. Gratitude does not ignore difficulties. It simply refuses to allow difficulties to become the entire story. When you appreciate what you already have, your mind becomes stronger, calmer, and more prepared to recognize new possibilities. Remember that every difficult season carries lessons that comfortable seasons cannot teach. Hardship develops patience. Responsibility develops maturity. Failure develops wisdom when you are willing to learn from it. Do not waste painful experiences by allowing them to produce only disappointment. Allow them to produce growth. Treat every person with respect as you continue climbing toward your goals. Success means very little if you lose your kindness along the way. The way you treat people becomes part of your legacy. People may forget your achievements, but they often remember how you made them feel. Choose words that encourage. Choose actions that build trust. Choose integrity even when shortcuts seem attractive. Your greatest competition has never been another person. Your greatest competition is the person you were yesterday. Every day offers another opportunity to improve your thinking, strengthen your habits, and deepen your character. Focus your energy there. Improvement becomes much easier when your attention stays on your own growth instead of someone else's progress. There will be moments when nobody notices your effort. Continue anyway. There will be days when your work feels ordinary. Continue anyway. There will be seasons when progress seems slower than you expected. Continue anyway. Consistency often feels unnoticed in the present, but it becomes unforgettable over time. The person who refuses to quit eventually reaches places that those seeking shortcuts never discover. Carry yourself with quiet confidence every single day, not because you have already reached your destination, but because you know the direction of your life. Walk with discipline instead of excuses. Speak with honesty instead of pride. Live with purpose instead of distraction. Make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Every sunrise offers another opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more dependable than the day before. One day, people may look at your life and admire what you have achieved. They may believe success arrived all at once. Only you will know the truth. You will remember the mornings when it was hard to stay committed. You will remember the choices nobody applauded. You will remember the moments when quitting seemed easier than continuing. Those were the days that truly mattered. Those were the days when the crown was earned long before anyone could see it.